Hi, so today I'm talking about how a few different sources from the Torah. So first of all, a few different sources from sages and so on. So first of all, the Rambam, Maimonides, whose anniversary of death it is last night and today, says that the law, you shall not eat over the blood, in Leviticus, Vayikra 19:26, also means that the members of a court cannot eat anything on the day that they implement a capital murder. Now talking about judgment, so Rabbi Tzvi Elimelech of Dinav mentions that he learned that saying every word of Tehillim beginning to end without interruption annuls heavenly judgment. There's 150 chapters of the Psalms, and he said this in the 1700s. Then we have the Midrash, which is the interpretations or commentary on the Torah, the 5 books in the scriptures, says that 4 out of 5 Jews died during the plague of darkness in Egypt. I say this because we're now in the time of the period of the portion of the Torah where we talk about the Jews getting exiled, and redeemed from their exile. And the thing is that while they were in Egypt, there was 10 plagues on the Egyptians because of the horrendous oppression and the way that they were cruel. And so they didn't let the Jews go free, and yet they despised them and were horrible to them. So it was like they were too important to let go, but not important enough to give respect. So Hashem, God, got involved and punished them. Not because Hashem isn't in charge of everything. Hashem already decided everything would go that way, but because they had the choice of whether or not they want to be the despicable ones to carry it out. So then what happened? There was 4 out of 5 Jews that were not yet ready for redemption. They weren't redeemable because they weren't interested in trusting God or coming into a new life, or believe in the revelation, let there be light. So it says that 4 out of 5 of the Jews died during the plague of darkness. The 9th plague was the plague of darkness. Most of the plagues affected the Egyptians, the Mitzrayim, but this plague, in order to protect the privacy of the Jewish people that were being affected, it was done during the darkness itself. Non-believing Jews who could not accept the revelation of let there be light, they were nullified by the brightness. So for the Jews it was light, and for the Egyptians it was dark. This I got from the Exodus Model of Personal Redemption, by the book by Rabbi Shalom, I think he's a rabbi, Shalom Brut. In Midrash Shochar Tov, on Psalms 116, it says the Jewish people in Egypt were like a nation in a nation, like a fetus in the bowels of an animal, even though they maintained their fundamental spark of Kedusha, which means like their separation. They were a people, but they were like inside of another people. They were like a fetus in the bowels of an animal. Reb Pinchas of Koretz said Rabbi Yaakov Yosef of Palanoia about Rabbi Dov Ber, the Maggid of Mizrich. I'm astonished that when the king himself isn't wearing a crown, it's hung on a peg. Is the crown not sufficiently important that when not in royal use for it to be set upon a human head for safekeeping? Why then is it not worn temporarily by one of the king's courtiers, that there might not be such desecration of honor? But the answer is thus: the man upon whose head the crown would be put, when the king himself isn't wearing it, might grow arrogant and say to himself, now I'm like the king. But the peg is without feelings and incapable of arrogance. So the Maggid died in 1773, and Rabbi Pinchas was born between 1700 and 1710. The Maggid died in 1773, but he was born in 1700. They say between 1700 and 1710. So he was either 60, 70 years old. Rabbi Pinchas of Koretz was 1726 to 1791. So Rabbi Dov Ber, the Maggid of Mizrich, he said this. This was written in the book The Circle of the Baal Shem Tov by Avram J. Heschel. He was quoting M.E. Gutman, Rabbi Pinchas Mikaretz, page 1, and M. Bodek, Seder Hadarash, part 1, page 34. So this was about basically an interesting comment. Could sound like a put down, or it could sound like a positive. It's hard to tell. Rav Moshe Feinstein, one of the greatest Ravs in recent times, said the laws of mourning are of rabbinic origin, but to cause pain to a Jewish daughter of Israel is a biblical prohibition. So the idea is that, all the laws about how to mourn come from our rabbis, their interpretations. But to cause pain to a Jewish daughter of Israel is a biblical prohibition. So a Jewish girl that's alive, it's worse to cause her suffering than it is to not mourn perfectly for the dead. Better also not to disturb someone's privacy on the eve of Shabbos after Chatzos, unless necessary, on Erev Shabbos, Friday. After Chatzos is a special time, which is considered midday. Midday means that you have to count how many hours there are in that day, what time is sunrise, what time is sunset. And then in Sefer Yetzirah by Adam, the first man, or maybe by Abraham, chapter 4, verse 16. 2 stones build 2 houses, 3 stones build 6 houses, 4 stones build 24 houses, 5 stones build 120 houses, 6 stones build 720 houses, 7 stones build 5,040 houses. From here we go calculate that what a mouth cannot express. From here go and calculate what the mouth cannot express and the ear cannot hear. Rabbi Asher Crisp says the commentators point out that the stone is a letter. It's a building block, a basic unit of meaning, a component, and house meaning resides in the letter's words, like the stones build the walls of a house. So 2 stones build 2 houses, because let's say you have, A and N. So you have an or na. Now you might say na is not a word, but here we have 2 words, right? Then if you have 3 stones, you could build 6 houses. So 3 letters, you could build 6 words. And I think that's interesting. It says, go and calculate what the mouth cannot express and the ear cannot hear. A letter can't, like, duh. It's like, it's interesting. It's like the most basic unit. Then Rambam, who I mentioned before, Maimonides, chapter 11, Sefer Afla, Hilchos Nedarim, number 20. It was the practice of Torah sages to tell their daughters before they left their domain, all the vows which you took within my household are nullified. And similarly, the number 21, the husband would tell her before she enters his domain, all the vows you took from the time I consecrated you until you entered my home are nullified. So this is the idea of like becoming who am I? Who is this kind of like, I'm not the person I vowed myself into being. And before you get married, your husband lets you become a new version of you. So it's a Jewish sort of like, almost like renewal. So I'm thinking of who am I? So I did we did this as a workshop in Living Deeply. It was like this cohort group that we would learn together. So I am an appreciator of the different. I'm a blessing giver. I'm a scribe. I'm a leader. I'm pure light. I'm a mirror. I'm a catalyst. I'm a lesson, a reminder. I'm a cleaner. I upkeep high standards. I'm a one-of-a-kind educator. I'm a friend. I'm a truth protector. I am a validating, understanding, encouraging other. I'm a seed planter in the gaps that reach the deep. I am a trusted viewer of the sacred. I'm a creative producer. I'm a wondering, imaginative perceiver. I'm a guide to direct so none of the flock goes away or gets in harm's way. I have a cabinet of curiosities and medicines and novelties that I have collected and can offer. And yeah, that's a good place to stop. We'll continue with different topics tomorrow. All the best. Bye.